I think the biggest mistake people make with smartphones is judging them too early. Because almost every phone looks impressive on day one. The design feels new, the animations feel smooth, the camera feels exciting. But after the excitement disappears, after the battery goes through dozens of cycles, after the software gets pushed every single day, that's when you discover what a phone is really made of. And that's exactly what happened with the Oppo Reno 16 Pro. I didn't want to know if it looked good for 5 minutes. I wanted to know, can this actually be a phone you trust every single day? After using it as my main device for a full month, for work, photography, entertainment, and everyday life, I started to understand where this phone truly belongs. It's not chasing attention. It's trying to be something more difficult, a phone that simply gets everything right. So today, let's talk about the Reno 16 Pro, the things it does incredibly well, the things that still need improvement, and most importantly, should you actually buy it? Oppo has always been one of the companies that understands design, and the Reno series has consistently been about creating phones that look and feel premium. The Reno 16 Pro continues that philosophy. At first glance, it may look similar to the previous generation, and honestly, that's not necessarily a bad thing because Oppo already had a strong design language. The changes are more about refinement than reinvention. The camera arrangement has been slightly adjusted. The overall look feels cleaner, more mature, and more confident. The frame uses aerospace aluminum, while the front is protected with Gorilla Glass 7i. And the phone feels extremely well built, at around 191 grams with a slim profile. The Reno 16 Pro hits a very comfortable balance. It feels premium without becoming heavy. And that matters, because a phone is something you hold hundreds of times every day. The back panel also does a good job resisting fingerprints. So instead of constantly cleaning the phone, it stays looking good. You also get multiple protection certifications, which adds confidence when using it outdoors. The buttons are placed naturally, the fingerprint sensor is fast, and the AI snap key on the side adds another shortcut for smart features. It's a small addition, but it shows Oppo is thinking about daily convenience. Overall, this is a phone that feels carefully designed, not just assembled. Now let's talk about the display, because this is probably the feature you will interact with more than anything else. And honestly, it's one of the strongest parts of the Reno 16 Pro. You get a 6.32-inch AMOLED panel, and immediately it feels premium. Colors are vibrant, but not unrealistic. Blacks are deep, contrast is excellent, and whether you're reading articles in the morning or watching cinematic content at night, the experience feels polished. The 144 Hz refresh rate also makes a difference. Scrolling feels incredibly smooth. Animations feel faster, and the entire phone feels more responsive. Now the interesting thing is, most people don't need 144 Hz, but once you experience that level of smoothness, it becomes something you appreciate. Brightness is another huge advantage, with up to 3600 nits peak brightness. Outdoor visibility is excellent. Direct sunlight is not a problem. Checking notifications, using maps, taking photos outside, everything stays comfortable. And that's one of those features you only appreciate when you use weaker displays. The stereo speakers also complete the experience. The bottom speaker provides most of the power, but together they create a solid multimedia setup. Watching videos on this phone feels genuinely enjoyable. And for performance enthusiasts, here's what I discovered after a month. Performance is usually where mid-range and premium phones separate. But the Reno 16 Pro takes a different approach. Instead of chasing unrealistic benchmark numbers, it focuses on consistency. Inside, you get the MediaTek Dimensity 855D Super chipset, alongside 12 gigabytes of RAM and up to 512 gigabytes of storage. And after a month of daily use, the result is exactly what you want from a modern phone. Smooth, reliable, predictable. Apps open quickly, and multitasking feels effortless. Navigation, streaming, social media, productivity, everything happens without hesitation. But the most impressive thing? Thermal management. Because powerful phones often have one problem. They feel amazing for 10 minutes. Then, performance drops. The Reno 16 Pro handles longer sessions better than expected. Even during gaming and heavy workloads, the phone stays controlled. Not every phone needs to be the fastest benchmark champion. Sometimes the better phone is the one that stays fast consistently, and that's exactly what Oppo achieved here. Now, we reach an area where Oppo has improved a lot, the ColorOS 16. And honestly, this software feels much more mature than older versions. The interface is smooth. Customization options are extensive. The always-on display features are excellent. Notifications are organized. Privacy controls are strong. And overall, the experience feels thoughtful. Now, yes, there are some pre-installed apps, and some users will probably want to clean things up. But beyond that, the stability is impressive. The software doesn't feel like it's fighting the hardware. It feels like everything works together. Oppo also added AI features here, including AI Mindspace, which integrates with different AI assistants like Gemini, Perplexity, and DeepSeek. The idea is simple. Give you access to multiple AI tools from one place. And honestly, it's one of those features that becomes more useful the more you use it. The AI Snap Key also gives quick access to these features. And I like that Oppo made it customizable, because extra buttons are only useful when they fit your habits. Now this is where the Reno 16 Pro surprised me, because battery life is one of those things you only understand after living with a phone. On paper, a 6700 milliampere battery sounds impressive. But the real question is, does it actually change the experience? And yes, it does. With heavy daily use, navigation, camera, social media, streaming, multitasking, I consistently ended the day with around 25 to 30% remaining. And that's a very comfortable position to be in. You stop worrying. You stop checking the percentage every hour. You simply use the phone. But the bigger story is charging, because Oppo continues to be one of the best companies when it comes to charging technology. The 80-watt wired charging is extremely convenient. A quick 15-minute charge can completely change your day. And honestly, that's one of those features that sounds small until you experience it. And finally, the camera. The Reno 16 Pro sports a triple camera setup comprising a 200-megapixel primary sensor, a 50-megapixel telephoto, and a 50-megapixel ultra-wide sensor. Up front, it sports a 50-megapixel shooter for selfies and video calling. The video can recording at 4K with 60 frames. You get great dynamic range with well-developed tonal extremes, plus vibrant colors with no weird white balancing tendencies. Ultimately, they're very good images. Low-light photos from the phone's main camera are good to very good. Detail is alright, it's not the sharpest, and even in well-lit scenes there's a bit of softness. Exposures and dynamic range are excellent, there's nothing to complain there. The Reno 16 Pro's telephoto camera can also take the photos are looking pretty great overall, having a wide dynamic range and easily likable vivid colors. As before, it's got a relatively long minimum focusing distance, and it doesn't perform particularly well there either. The ultra-wide, on the other hand, are quite excellent. They have great detail for an ultra-wide camera. The dynamic range is nice and wide, and colors are on point. The Reno 16 Pro inherits the previous generation's relatively unusual selfie camera. With a good 50-megapixel sensor behind it, brings a lot of versatility and some actually great results. The native focal length photos are nicely sharp, the colors are vibrant, the dynamic range is wide, and the low-light performance is pretty solid too. The wide-angle lens is also great for wonky angles or fitting more people in the frame. When it comes to video recording, the 16 Pro covers a lot of bases, but it also stops short in a few ways. On a positive note, it can capture video at up to 4K at 60 frames on all of its cameras, including the front-facing one. There's a Pro video mode that's almost more basic than the regular video mode. It does offer some exposure controls and a miniature histogram. In the end, should you buy the Oppo Reno 16 Pro after 1 month? I think Oppo created something very interesting, because this phone is not about showing off. It's about reliability. It's a phone that feels good on day one and still feels good after weeks of use. The Reno 16 Pro delivers. premium design, excellent display, strong performance, great battery life, versatile cameras, and a mature software experience. It may not be the loudest smartphone in the market, but sometimes the best phone is the one you never have to think about. And that's exactly what the Oppo Reno 16 Pro does. If you enjoy calm, experience-driven tech reviews like this, consider subscribing. More phones, laptops, and honest technology reviews are coming. And let me know in the comments. Would you choose the Oppo Reno 16 Pro over Samsung or Redmi in the same price range? Thanks for watching, and goodbye.